Get ready to whistle to the birds, pat the rabbits, be attacked by chickens, clean and scrub cows, and give a llama a well-deserved hug. We're going to look at all of the farm animals from The Sims 4 Cottage Living, including how to care for them and all of their key gameplay features. Just a few quick tips before we dance into it. Yes, we're dancing now. Your pets will age and eventually pass away, but if you don't want them to age, then you can jump into game options, and in the pack settings tab, you can toggle animal aging on and off. Next, the new animal enthusiast trait gives you a range of additional social interactions with farm animals, meaning it's easier to become friends with them. And finally, while you're playing, be sure to use the notebook, which can be rather helpful and will track some good information on various treats or objects once you come across them. And with that, let's kick things off with birds. Birds are a super fun addition and live in the flock of wild birds object. Initially, this object is locked and it's unlocked by finding one of these bird tree hideaways in the world and befriending the birds inside through social interactions or by giving them gifts. Note that the different birds will have different gift preferences, which you can discover over time. This is rather quick, and after befriending some birds in the wild, you can then buy one for your own lot for 400 simoleons. There are a lot of perks to befriending birds and raising that social bar. Once your relationship with them is high enough, you can have them help you with gardening, and they will ward away pesky bugs and help your crops grow by singing to them. You can also collect gifts from birds. This could be an object, such as a fish or a treat, or they might unlock cross-stitch patterns too, if cross-stitching is your Sims thing. Moving on to rabbits now, they are similar to birds in that they're found in the wild and that befriending them will unlock the wild rabbit home object for 400 simoleons, which means that you can then have the rabbits live on your own home lot. They're also similar to birds in that you can give them gifts and they can give you various gifts too, including treats, and also unlock cross-stitching patterns. When you're friendly enough with rabbits, they can also be asked to help with gardening, and they will take care of weeds for you by eating them and also enrich the soil, helping your crops to grow. If you have the Wild Foxes Lot Challenge active, then know that they'll be on the prowl for your rabbits and they can attack and kill them. An attack doesn't mean certain death though. Many of my rabbits beat the fox. Still, it's something you want to be wary of and look to either shoo away or befriend the foxes to stop them causing havoc. Also, don't be rude to rabbits if you value your life. No exaggeration here. If you're constantly mean to them, then eventually they'll have had enough of you and they'll attack. And if you are a repeat offender, then this can lead to death as well. Okay, now before we move on to chickens, love the chickens, we need to talk about treats. And nope, I'm sadly not talking about chocolate cake and ice cream, though they are topics I would be happy to talk about. These are treats for your animals, not your human Sims. And you can feed various treats to your chickens, cows, and llamas for different effects. To make treats, you first need to unlock the recipe for them. And you can unlock the recipe for treats by finding one of the treats and feeding them to your animals, or by clicking on it and selecting to unlock it. I found the easiest way to find treats was by visiting and buying them from the market stalls which pop up around Finchwick. If you befriend rabbits and birds, then you'll be able to ask them for gifts from time to time, which may include treats. And I found this to be a really good way to get some of those rarer treats as well. You can also trade animals you own for some random treats, which will then be delivered to your mailbox shortly after. Participating in fairs and completing tasks for Sims around Henford on Bagley can also help you to unlock recipes and gain some treats too. There are 13 treats in total, and I'll quickly go through the 4 more general treats now, which have the same effects on chickens, cows, and llamas. The remaining 9 treats have different effects on different animals, and I'll talk about them when going into detail about the specific animal. Also note that I'll put a full list of the ingredients for every treat in the video description. Firstly, the friendly treat. This will boost your Sim's relationship with the animal they feed it to. It is rather handy. Next is the animal party treat. This will increase the social motive of your animals, essentially just making caring for them a little bit easier. On to the fishy protein treat, which will increase the amount of produce you get from an animal by 1 once. For example, a cow will give you 7 bottles of milk instead of 6 before going back to 6, whereas a hen will lay 2 eggs once and then go back to laying 1. Finally, the healthy treat. Feeding this to your animals will extend their lifespan, making them live longer. Note that this will not reverse age them, it'll only make them live longer overall. Still, I highly recommend it. Alrighty, it's time to talk chickens, which add loads of gameplay. To raise chickens, you'll need a chicken coop, and once bought, you can then click on it to purchase chickens, including different coloured hens, roosters, and chicks too. If you want to stop your chickens going rogue and roaming absolutely everywhere while you fail to keep up with them, then build them a pen, and know that you can lock the gate doors just for chickens. While roosters won't lay eggs, hens will lay them, and you can use these eggs in cooking. But if you have at least one rooster as part of a coop too, then there is a chance that your hen's eggs will be hatchable. And roosters will also try and protect hens from those pesky foxes as well. Note, chickens lay eggs at around 6 AM and you can collect eggs by clicking on the coop. If an egg is hatchable, then you can click on it in your inventory to start the incubation. And if you hover over it in the coop, then you can see how long until it hatches into a chick. Once it's time and your egg is about to hatch, then you can head over and personally hatch the egg, or alternatively, you can leave it alone and let it hatch by itself. Hovering over a coop will tell you how full it is, with one coop being able to have up to 8 chickens in it. Note that you can have multiple coops on one lot. It'll also tell you how many eggs are ready to be collected, the breakdown between chicks, hens, and roosters, and how clean it is too. Try to always keep the coop clean to keep your chickens happier. And note that cleaning is quick and can sometimes net you some fertilizer too, which is a bit cute. If your coop gets real dirty, then all of your chickens will get stinky too. And nobody wants to deal with stinky chickens who will see a big drop in their mood. Speaking of mood, hovering over chickens will show their age, happiness, hunger, hygiene, and attention. For happiness and attention, just make sure you socialize with your chickens from time to time. For hunger, scatter feed or give your chickens some treats here and there. And for hygiene, keep the coop clean. Note that you have an individual relationship bar with each chicken. Keeping chickens happy and the coop clean will mean that they lay better quality eggs. And if you have a very happy chicken with a high relationship bar, then there is a chance they can lay golden eggs too, which I'll talk about soon. Note that you can also enter a chicken and an egg into the Finchwink Chicken Fair. Remember to pop the chicken into your inventory before you go. Now in the actions section of the coop, you can trade in your chickens for either simoleons, animal treats, ingredients, and meat. And yes, meat is as grim as it sounds. The produce will arrive in the mail shortly after your chicken has been traded. In the action section, you can also upgrade your coop to make your chickens inside the coop live longer. You can have alarms installed to ward off foxes, and you can even auto feed your chickens. But note that this requires livestock upgrade parts, which are very difficult to obtain, with you needing to complete errands for people around Henford-on-Bagley to get them. If you're on the hunt for these, then check an errand description to make sure a livestock upgrade part will be rewarded before you accept it. Now, speaking of the alarm that wards off foxes, if you have the Wild Foxes Lot Challenge active, then you have to be on the lookout for them, and either try and scare them off or try to befriend them so that they leave your chickens alone. Foxes can attack and kill chickens, but note that sometimes when they attack, your chickens will put up a good fight and they will win. Also be wary, as foxes can infiltrate your coop and steal your chickens' eggs. You gotta keep an eye on them, they're a bit rude. Now don't be like the foxes and offend your chickens. If you're rude to chickens and you continually perform mean social interactions, then they might just attack you. And if this happens repeatedly, then you might just find that they kill your sim. So be nice to the chickens and live to see another day. Now we're going to look at how treats impact on your chickens. To start, the veggie treat will make the next egg your hen lays be green. The pumpkin treat will make the next egg your hen lays orange, and the fruity treat will make the next egg your hen lays blue. These eggs can sometimes be required for errands for people around Henford-on-Bagley, and together the three of them are ingredients to make the rainbow treat. The rainbow treat will make your hen's next laid egg be a rainbow egg. While the notes suggest the egg can be made into the rainbow treat, the ingredient list to make the rainbow treat is the green, orange, and blue egg. So at this stage, I think the rainbow egg is mostly there to be sold for up to 225 simoleons. Now we have the Flirty treat, which is rather handy if you're looking to grow your coop, as feeding this to your hen will mean that there's a higher chance that their next laid egg will be hatchable. The Chocolatey treat will mean your hens lay a chocolate egg next. which can be used in cooking in the place of chocolate, or you can straight up eat that egg for a happy +2 moodlet for 2 hours. Next up, the spicy treat will see the next egg your hen lays be an obsidian egg. If an obsidian egg is hatchable, then it can be incubated to create an evil chicken, which we'll talk about soon. It's also one of the ingredients for the next treat, being the midnight treat, which will turn regular chickens into evil chickens. Evil chickens will have red glowing eyes and they'll be very dark and will often lay obsidian eggs too. If you ask an evil chicken for help, then their powers will come into effect. They'll ward off foxes and stop them killing your chickens, as well as warding off household enemies, vampires, and even the Grim Reaper. Literally, these evil chickens will attack the Grim Reaper when he appears, which can save your sim from death as well. Not sure about your thoughts, but in my mind, these are the most amazing, purest, cutest evil chickens ever. You can also use non-hatchable obsidian eggs in cooking, and eating the food you create from them will give your sim some temporary side effects. You'll get a +3 angry dark chicken moodlet for 2 hours, and your sim's eyes will glow red as if they're the most evil sim ever. They'll also gain the ability to use the evil glare on other sims, which will spread the moodlet and see them angry with the evil eyes too. You can also use the evil glare on objects, and it will cause them to break and start a fire, so it's perfect for if you want to cause some chaos. Finally, we have the golden treat, which will turn regular chickens into golden chickens. Like evil chickens, you can ask golden chickens for help, which will see their powers come into effect. Golden chickens will have the golden pulse power, which will increase the quality of objects surrounding them to be the best that they can be. And this extends to plants, meaning that they can give you perfect quality plants in seconds. If your golden chicken is a hen, then they will lay golden eggs. Hatchable eggs can be incubated for more golden chickens, while non-hatchable eggs can be used in cooking. If your sim eats a dish that used golden eggs as an ingredient, then eating it will give them a dazed +3 moodlet for 2 hours, and in this time, you'll see them gain yellow sparkles around them. While this moodlet is active, your sims will gain the golden pulse power, and they can use that to max the quality of any object. Meaning yes, they can go around making your garden perfect in seconds, or they can even just upgrade various objects to be the best quality that they can be. Note that you can cast Golden Pulse on other sims to spread the moodlet and power. Let's move on to cows now. Yes, I did that. Cows will live in the animal shed, and like the chicken coop, the animal shed can be upgraded to enable your animals to live longer and also to auto-feed them too, which makes caring for your cow or llama easier. You can pick between a brown and a black spotted cow, though they're both pretty similar. Like chickens, you can trade your cow in for simoleons, treats, ingredients and produce, as well as meat. But why trade in your cow when you can raise them and bribe them? Now cows produce milk, and how happy your cow is and your relationship with them will determine the quality of the milk they produce. You'll get 6 bottles each time you milk them. Milk can be drank straight, increasing hunger and decreasing bladder. It can be used as an ingredient in cooking, can be gifted to rabbits and birds, and is sometimes required for completing errands for the Henford on Bagley people. And it's a good idea to pop milk straight into the fridge so that it keeps longer. I should add that this is true for chickens' eggs as well. Note that you can enter a cow and milk into the Finchwick Cow Fair too. Remember to pop the cow into your inventory before you go. Yes, your inventory, you're just casually carrying that cow around. Now in addition to regular milk, feeding cows treats will mean that the next time you milk them, you'll get a special kind of milk in addition to your 6 standard milk bottles. Note that after you get a special kind of milk, your cow will go back to giving just standard milk unless they're fed another treat. Feeding the veggie treat will give you a bottle of mighty plant milk, which won't affect lactose intolerant sims when it's drunk or used in cooking. Feeding the pumpkin treat will give pumpkin spice milk, which will give you an inspired +1 moodlet that lasts 4 hours and increase the rate that you train the gardening skill during this time. The fruity treat will see your sim gain an enriched milk. Note that you can also get your cow to produce enriched milk by tipping them 25 simoleons. I mean, I'm not going to say no to bribing cows, we do what works here. Drinking enriched milk will give a +1 focus moodlet for 4 hours and increase skill gain across the board for the duration. Feeding your cow a Flirty treat will give you strawberry milk, and drinking this will provide a +1 Flirty moodlet for 4 hours. The spicy treat will give you fire milk, and drinking this will give a confident +1 moodlet for 4 hours and see you breathe a bit of fire too. The chocolatey treat will give you chocolate milk, which provides a happy +1 moodlet for 4 hours. The rainbow treat is the only treat to have a visual effect on your cow, turning them into a rainbow cow until they're next milked, after which they'll go back to normal. Drinking rainbow milk will give your Sims a playful +1 moodlet for 4 hours. The midnight treat will give your Sim Obsidian milk, which, similar to eating dishes made from obsidian eggs, will make your Sims angry and temporarily give them the evil glare power, which spreads that angry moodlet, and can be used to break objects and set them on fire. Finally, the golden treat. Like eating foods made from golden eggs, this will give your Sim a dazed moodlet and temporarily give them the golden pulse power, which can make objects perfect or their highest quality possible. And finally, everybody's favorite, well, maybe not everyone, those chickens were pretty cool, but yes, it's time for the llama. Like cows, llamas will live in an animal shed, and you can have one per shed. There are 2 types of llamas to choose from, being beige and white. The beige llama will produce beige wool, and the white llama, white wool. Would be awkward if it was the other way around, wouldn't it? Llama wool can be used to lower the cost of cross-stitching and for making clothes for your animals too, and you'll be given 6 wool per shear. If you want clothing made, you'll need to track down the creature keeper. His house is in the Bramblewood to the south of the area, directly below the little ruins. He roams a lot, but if you click on his little house, you can ask it to focus your camera on him and then track him down that way. You can buy animal clothing from him, but you can also trade in wool to have him craft specific pieces for you. Animal clothes are available for rabbits, chickens, cows, llamas, and even those pesky foxes. Note that if you have the nifty knitting stuff pack, then you'll also be able to knit a cute range of animal outfits too. Llama wool will also reduce the cost of knitting your usual human clothes and knitted objects too. However, it's not essential for this. You can also enter llamas and their wool into the llama fair, and remember to pop the llama into your inventory before you go. And you can give their wool as gifts to rabbits and birds, or even just sell the wool for money. Sometimes they'll be required for completing errands for the Henford on Bagley people as well. And now what about treats? Treats will temporarily change the colour of your llama and make it so that the next time you shear them, you'll get a single coloured piece of wool in addition to your 6 standard beige or white pieces, before your llama then goes back to their normal colour. Feeding the veggie treat will give you green wool, feeding the pumpkin treat orange wool, and the fruity treat blue wool. Feeding your llama the Flirty treat will give you pink wool, very cute, do love. Feeding the spicy treat red wool, and the chocolatey treat brown wool. Then my personal favourite, the rainbow treat, which gives you a very stylish llama, and we'll see you get some rainbow wool. The midnight treat will fetch you some black wool, do love. And finally, feeding your llama the golden treat will fetch you some gold wool. And we've reached the end. That's a complete guide to all of the farm animals from The Sims 4 Cottage Living. If you enjoyed or found that helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And have an amazing day. See you later.